And good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you are around the world. I am Marcus Holmes, and this is another edition of Love and Stuff. So I hope that those of you that are joining or have clicked share, we are via Restream live on Facebook Live, Twitch TV, YouTube events. And we are hoping that you will join us by clicking share and tagging 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to join us in the discussion. I'm excited to be here and to share this topic with you. And I will make sure that our senior associate producer has this topic so that he can click share and tag some folks. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to start clicking a few shares and tagging some folks to join us in this wonderful topic. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. I'll be sharing with you a little bit of music as we go. And I hope that you will click share and tag someone to join us. And I'm back. I've tagged a few folks to join us, and I hope that shortly they will. We are happy to be here and excited to show you Gratefulness Journey every day is still available, and we hope that you will support it and join us on the Gratefulness Journey. It's an amazing journey that I've discovered, and I advise everybody that I meet about getting on the Gratefulness Journey every day. It is available on Amazon in paperback. It's a short read, and it has 3 simple practices that can help you transform your life. If you're a person that's angry or frustrated or depressed or disappointed, if you're someone that has trouble seeing the positive in life, it's for you. And if you are able to see those things, you are able to see the good things in life, you're not frustrated, it will power and even give you more strength along your journey. So, 3 simple practices. What are you doing in the next 30 days to transform your life? The gratefulness journey every day. I also wanted to mention here in the Metro Detroit area, it is the primary election, and I dare not go a day without voting, an opportunity without voting for all that has been sacrificed in the name of freedom and in the name of this holy right and privilege. I voted. How about you? I don't know where you are around the world and whether or not your polls were open, but our polls were, and I wish well those candidates that I voted for and those proposals that I voted for as well. So I am just excited to be here, and I am going to share the topic so that you will be able to join in with us on the topic. And why don't you click share while I'm doing that, and tag someone to join us in the discussion. All right. I'm going to send this topic right on. All right. Okay. Send that topic. Make sure that I'm able to drop it in the comments, and maybe I will be able to pin it in the comments as well. Take a look there for it. All right, I see it. Okay. I'm going to put it in the comments. It's a little lengthy topic, but it is one that I think I'd love to hear your feedback and input on. So I'm going to drop that in the comments. I'm going to see whether or not it will populate, if I can pin it. All right. Now I'm just double checking my platforms. It looks like I'm good on each platform. A little bit of a challenge there. Okay. Well, see if I can pin it. Okay. Right. So I'll see if Jay Gerald is here to help pin it. And if you're joining us, click share and tag some folks to join us as we thank you for joining wherever you are. Right. Good on each platform as we move a challenge there. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to fix this. A little challenge there. Okay. So wherever you are, click share and tag someone to join us in the discussion. Okay. I posted the topic, and I hope that you will share that with someone, right? A few folks that are joining us there. Okay. It's not tracking with me on all platforms. All right. Well, we're going to proceed. Missing one of the platforms. So I hope at some point it will track with us, and I appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to go into the topic, and I hope you will click share. All right. She writes, help me and my husband. We hang out with 5 other couples. We have all gotten pretty close over the last 4 years. All of the fellas have been friends since high school. One of the couples have been married for 9 years. The way this man talks to his wife is violent, she says. He calls her stupid, dumb, the B word. Can't bring myself yet to say that. He says you ain't sugar, honey, ice, and tea. It's okay. It's to the point that not a one of the other wives want to hang out because of his behavior. He's obnoxious, never appearing drunk or high, but he takes his frustration out on her verbally. She swears that if he ever hit her, that she would leave. We were together recently, just the four of us, and he called her a B in a restaurant for sending her food back. I had had enough, she writes. I read him the riot act, she says. When we got in the car, my husband told me that he was disappointed that I got involved. He said, why get involved if she is going to stay? I told him that I'm mad that he stands by and doesn't say anything. He says he does, but behind the scene. I'm not with it, so I am refusing to hang out with them. But I did tell her when she is ready to leave, she can come here. Yesterday, she showed up here. I charged her a flight to her mama who lives in another state with my husband's credit card, she notes. My husband is upset and hasn't spoken to me for 2 days. I'm looking at him side-eyed. Am I wrong? Sandra Beavers has joined us. I hope that you will click share and tag some folks to join us wherever you may be watching. What do you say? What do you say? I want to hear from you, and I'll tag a few more folks to do that. And just as I'm getting ready to do that, I'd love to announce, and I will throughout the evening, our newest show, Sports Talk with Felix and Kamau, with Kamau and Felix, excuse me. The next episode will be this weekend, and you don't want to miss. I'm telling you, they're having a blast and a ball. Kamau Williams and Felix Holmes, they are enjoying themselves, and you should join their group, the Sports Talk with Felix and Kamau. It's the place that you definitely want to be. Listen as Kamau tells us a little bit about the show.
What's up, Sports Talk family? This is Kamau. Come let you know that next week I will be remote here at Big Hughes Barbershop, a little Detroit flavor in Texas. We will be talking, as always, all things sports. Simone, the draft, the Lakers, Olympics. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. See everybody real soon. 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. Me and Felix are going to burn things up.
He and Felix are going to burn things up. So join them Saturday for Sports Talk with Kamau and Felix. I see that Sandra Beavers and Sonia Sharice have joined us. I hope they will click share and tag someone to join us in the discussion on this topic. Should you mind your business if you see that someone is in an abusive relationship? What should you do? I want to hear from you. What would you do? What should you do? What would you do? What should you do? Right? I'll give you a chance to click share and tag some folks to get some folks joining us. I know that we have experienced what's called shadow banning here on Facebook. And I know that people aren't always getting the post, but we're hoping that as you get it, that you will click share and tag someone. Philip P.D. Patrick, blessings to you, sir. Looks like you had a successful surgery. The Lord's blessing and love envelop you and lift you up. His countenance give you peace and strength. All right, click share and tag someone to join us in this discussion. All right. Well, I am looking to have some folks to join us in the discussion, but I want to talk to you a little bit about, I'm going to read from The Gratefulness Journey every day while I'm waiting for others to join us. There's a section in the book that talks about eustress versus distress. And I'm going to share a little bit of that with you, as I hope others are going to be joining and coming in. Click share and tag someone to join us in this discussion. Because someone who is experiencing verbal abuse could be living through post-traumatic stress disorder. And so sometimes when people are in trauma, they're in shock and they can't always make the decision as you would think it would just be natural and normal for people to leave a situation. Sometimes people are in have had a traumatic experience, or the experience that they're having now is the result of some traumatic experience, and they're unable to cope in the normal way that you would think that they should. And so I see Kim Wilson has joined us. Carl Moore has joined us. I hope that you both will click share. I'd love to have your input on this topic. I think it's an important topic, and the topic is in the comments. I'm waiting for our senior associate producer to pin that topic. She says, help me and my husband. We hang out with 5 other couples. So this is a couples group, and they've all gotten pretty close over the last 4 years. All of the fellas have known each other since high school. And one of the couples, the couple kind of in question, has been married for 9 years. And she says the way this man talks to his wife is violent. That's how she describes it, as violent. He calls her stupid. He calls her dumb. He calls her a B. He says, you ain't sugar, honey, ice, and tea. It's to the point that not a one, she says, of the other wives want to hang out because of his behavior. He's obnoxious, she says. Never appearing drunk or high, but he takes his frustration out on his wife verbally, okay? She swears that if he ever hit her, that she would leave. We were together recently, just the 4 of us, so just 2 of the couples, and he called her a B in a restaurant, B-I-T-C-H, in a restaurant, for sending her food back. I had had enough, she said. I read him the riot act. When we got in the car, my husband told me that he was disappointed that I got involved. He said, why get involved if she's going to stay? I told him that I'm mad that he stands by and doesn't say anything. He says he does, but behind the scenes. I'm not with it, so I am refusing to hang out with them. But I did tell her when she is ready to leave, she can come here. Yesterday, she showed up here. I charged her a flight to her mama, who lives in another state, with my husband's credit card, she said. My husband is upset and hasn't spoken to me for 2 days. I'm looking at him side-eye. Am I wrong? Well, I'm hoping that more of you will join and come back, because I was getting ready to go into some post-traumatic stress disorder, just to maybe help some people realize that not everybody has the same coping mechanism depending on where they are in their own process of trauma. You might think it's simple for someone to make a decision, and they're not in that mindset, that frame of mind to make that decision. And it could be related to a current or former trauma that they haven't dealt with or gotten past. And so, in talking in the inbox, because oftentimes when people are in abusive situations, people shout and say, leave. And I don't disagree with that. I just know that there are some people that don't have the wherewithal because they're in a post-traumatic stress disorder, or sometimes a post-traumatic stress event, and they don't have the normal coping that you would think that they might have. Uh, One of the things that I wanted to share, and I stopped a moment ago, if you noticed, is because it kind of uh, chokes me up a little bit when she said, um, I did tell her when she is ready to leave, she can come here. And I had to stop there because there are so many women and some men who are so humiliated and so embarrassed by what they are experiencing that they are afraid to reach out. And what an oasis of hope it is when someone says, you can come here. I'm there for you. I got your back. Sometimes that's just the courage that someone needs. Hey, Sonia, thanks for joining. Click share, please. I'm trying to watch my meter counter and I see people dipping in and out, but I can't really keep a tab of it tonight. I'm not sure exactly what's happening differently. So thank you if you've joined or if you're joining. I can't really see people on the counter, but it'd be helpful if you just dropped in the comments and said, hey, I'm here, like Sonia just did. But you would be surprised at what just saying, I'm here for you. Just saying, I got your back, can provide someone the courage, the awakening, the shaking that they need to experience to say, I got to get out of my present situation. And that's why it kind of grabbed me in the chest a moment ago, because there are so many people that just need to know that even though you feel humiliated, even though you've been embarrassed, and there are people that say, how could you endure that? How could you stay through that? All you need is one person to tell you, to encourage you to leave, to get out. That might be what will help you make that move. And so I kind of got a little choked up there because she said I wanted her to know that if she wanted to leave, that she could come here. Now, here's a woman that says, I'm not going to stay if he hits me. And no judgment to her. He was hitting her with his words. He was calling her dumb, stupid, and bitch, and you ain't sugar, honey, ice, and tea. He was saying those things probably because hurting people hurt people, and that's no excuse to hurt people. But he probably isn't aware that that is as violent and as abusive as striking her, because it begins to inform your self-talk. You begin to say, now, am I bad? Do I deserve this? What did I do to deserve this? And so I want to ask you, those that have joined, and I see Christina Smith joined and Willie Rogers. And again, I'm only seeing some people in some places that are populating, so forgive me if I didn't say your name. I love to say everybody's name because it means a lot to me. We've been shadow banned on Facebook, and we might get shadow banned again because we did a lot of posting at a period. So what happens is that they stop showing everybody your posts and notices and notifications. So we're rebuilding that. And we'll get there. If this is the platform for us, we'll get there. But I love to tell people how much it means to me that you would spend a part of your Tuesday night with me. So that's why when you're coming in the room, don't be alarmed. I'm not going to send you I might send you an invite, but I'm probably not sending you an invite to join me live. It's my way of saying thank you, and thank you for sharing the love of your presence and your time. But in this inbox situation, there's a woman who is experiencing extreme verbal abuse. And one of the women in her circle, in the circle of 6 couples, or 5 couples, I think it is, the circle of couples, is standing up for her. And her husband isn't standing up for the woman that's being verbally abused. And I wanted to ask, because her husband is basically telling her that's not your business. Don't get involved because she's going to stay there until she's ready to leave. That's not your business. And I wanted to ask you, because she says, am I wrong for helping this woman? She paid for the woman's ticket with her husband's credit card to go home to her mother in another state because she decided to leave. And bravo for her. And bravo to anyone else that's ever left, man or woman. And I'm going to say bravo in advance to you, those of you that are sitting in the audience of abuse. I'm saying bravo to you in advance, because your time to come on stage, on your stage and platform of freedom, is nigh. I know it's scary, but you have to muster the courage to do it. Your day is near. And I'm clapping for you. I'm rooting for you, that you understand that you did nothing to deserve what you are experiencing, but you have to do something to stop experiencing it. I hope you can hear that. You've done nothing to deserve what you are experiencing if you are experiencing verbal or physical abuse. Even if you flew off at the handle, it doesn't require a response where someone is verbally or physically abusive to you. So you don't deserve what you are experiencing. But if you want to experience something different, you have to stop it. And so I'm clapping for you. I am applauding you. Can you imagine yourself getting ready to walk across the stage and graduate from abuse? There are folks applauding you and clapping you, saying, yes, go ahead and do it. So in our inbox topic, I want to hear from you, because there are folks that are in situations, and some of them don't recognize it as abuse. And if you're being called out of your name, now I will admit we are in a day and time where women call each other the B word, and sometimes men and women call each other the B word. And they say it in a way that's some sort of term of endearment to them. I'm not speaking of that. I'm not a proponent of that, I'll be honest. It's not my love language to be called a B. And it's not the love language I want to deliver to somebody else to call a B. But there might be people that say that, and they mean it in the most amorous way. That's not me. I don't espouse that. But I'm talking about someone who uses that word or words like it to humiliate, demean, or belittle you. That's what I'm referring to when I say verbal abuse. And sometimes it's not a 4-letter word, not always. Sometimes it is, you're never going to amount to anything. You ain't good for nothing. I don't even know why I'm with you. You're broke. Those are words of abuse. And it's not, oh, we got to have thicker sleeves, Marcus. I think we have to have thinner tolerance for the words that do not serve and honor basic civility of humankind. There's a basic civility that's due. And I think we get to a place where we understand that as we evolve in our emotional intelligence, of course, there is that uh, the IQ intelligence quotient, then there's an emotional quotient, and then there's your personality. Two of those are fairly static. One can kind of evolve a little bit more than the other. That's IQ and personality. Your personality can evolve more than your IQ, but your EQ, your emotional quotient, your emotional intelligence is not static. It can evolve. And so sometimes we don't master our emotions. And because something else is happening, and now I'm doing Ayanla, something else is happening in here that we can't reconcile. We put it out there because we haven't mastered our emotions. And we make the object of our affection the function of our emotions. And so that person or persons get the brunt of these emotions that we haven't reconciled. And so, because we have that misdirected aggression and we don't know what to do with that emotion, we blurt it out. You ain't sugar, honey, ice, and tea. Because it's an easy target for that person. And we haven't mastered our emotions to say, I'm feeling frustrated. But it's really not the nexus of this, the fulcrum of this is not the person I'm directing it to, it's something else that's happening that I haven't reconciled. And because we're not awakened to that, we're not self aware, we lash out. And sometimes we're self aware and angry, and we don't know how to reconcile that. So we don't know how to self manage our anger. Two skills in emotional intelligence. And that's not to condone the behavior of this gentleman who is calling his wife names, but it feels very clear to me that he has a low emotional intelligence. He has not learned to master his emotions. And he has not learned to self-manage those emotions once he becomes aware of them. He has triggers, and he doesn't know why these are triggers, and he doesn't know what to do with them except to lash out, namely at his wife. So I want to ask you, if you watch this, you and your husband, you and your wife, brothers, and you've watched it over and over again, is it your business to have some conversation with either of those parties to try to help them come to a better place? Or should you leave it alone until one of them says, this is unhealthy? I want to hear from you. Drop in the comments. Let us hear from you. Sonia Waddy, Christina Smith, Willie Rogers, Justin Davis, Carl Moore, Kim Wilson, or anybody else, Sandra Beavers, anybody that's come through, Sonia Sharice. And if you are still here, I want to hear from you. What do you do when you watch verbally abusive behavior play out over and over again in a couple who you are friends with? What do you do? Give me a like or a love or something in the comments to say, yep, I would step in. I'd need to say something to them, maybe pull them to the side, talk to them both, ask them, do they need counseling? What would you do? Would you do anything? Drop that in the comments. What would you do? Got some people putting thumbs up. Okay, thank you. All right. What would you do? So somebody would speak up. Is there anybody that would be quiet, that would not get involved because you say, that's not my business, I ain't getting involved in that? Give me a like or love. If you say, that's not my business, I'm not getting involved, they're going to have to work it out. Give me a like or love if that's you. Okay. I'm looking at the comments across the platform. Those of you that may have just joined us, I can't really see for some reason who is and isn't here. I am seeing a few little bit of activity. But we are live via Restream on the Marcus R. Holmes page. Of course, we're emanating from the Love and Stuff community. And we're also on YouTube events and Twitch TV. So if you're watching on any of those platforms or all of them, we're grateful that you are here. And speaking of gratefulness, get your copy of The Gratefulness Journey every day. What are you doing in the next 30 days to transform your life? It's my first book, and I'm telling you, I am so proud of it that I believe that everybody should get a copy and read it and put into practice 3 simple steps that would help you live a more grateful life. Okay, so I mentioned it choked me up earlier because, and I said at some length, I think, that a lot of people that are experiencing abuse, well, another show maybe, a lot of people who are experiencing abuse have experienced it before. And because they have been socialized to abuse being normalized, they accept abuse in their life as a part of what life is supposed to be. There are some people who are at that place in life, okay? And there are some people who are living through abuse, and it is trauma after trauma after trauma after day after day after day. And they're in a cycle of post-traumatic stress disorder. It's like a dream that doesn't ever end for them. And so it is hard for someone that is experiencing or has experienced a traumatic event to cope with it and make decisions. So sometimes people say, why wouldn't you get out? Why wouldn't you leave? Some people don't have the presence of mind to do that. Now, some people have been socialized to it and normalized that it's acceptable to them. It's normal. But there are some people who have been traumatized, either in the past or in the current set of realities, where it's hard for them to make a decision where you think they should just get up and leave. They feel almost paralyzed. And so I'm saying that because I want you to have empathy where you see a woman or a man who's been abused or is being abused and they're just not walking out. It's not just that they want to be abused. Some people are paralyzed by a post-traumatic stress disorder. It can paralyze you, okay? But what the reason I say that, and again, it got me choked up earlier, is because this woman in the inbox said, I wanted her to know that if she leaves him, she can come here. People need to know that if they take a leap of faith, a leap toward deliverance, that there is someone there to be a safety net to catch them. And that's why I pulled this one out of the inbox tonight, because emotional and psychological safety are paramount for people who are experiencing horrible realities, because many of them don't believe that they have a place to go or a way to get there. And so if you could open your heart and have empathy for that woman who said, girl, you should leave him. She doesn't literally know how. Not that she doesn't have, that she can't cogitate, but it's impaired by the trauma. Going to the comments. Coach Pam Bass has joined us. Thank you so much. I've addressed it and shared how the behavior wasn't healthy, offer resources for both the husband and wife. I had to separate myself from them. After 15 of him not wanting counseling, she filed for legal separation. They have 4 children who watch his behavior. Yep. All kind of side effects to it, right? All kind of byproducts of the abuse. But remember that you can be a soft place for someone to land. So my question again is, if you are in a situation where one of your couple friends, you are witnessing this verbal abuse, and your husband is saying, don't get involved, and you want to get involved, what's that conversation like? First, would you get involved? Would you get involved? And what's that conversation like? Because in this inbox, the husband is saying, I'm disappointed that you got involved. If you haven't had a chance to read the topic, this couple that's in question has been together for 9 years, but they're in a group of couples. And all of the women in the group, except for the woman that's being verbally abused, have come to this realization that they don't even want to hang out because he is so verbally abusive to his wife. But two of the couples get together, which happens to be the writer from the inbox and her husband, and the couple in question where the abuse is happening. And they go to a restaurant for dinner, and the wife, the abused wife, sends her food back. Something's wrong with her food. She sends it back, and her husband calls her a B for having sent the food back. And so the writer of the situation reads him the riot act. She says she goes in. She goes completely in. Cusses him out. You ain't good. She should leave you. She says a whole lot. And her husband get up and leave. But when they get to the car, the husband says, I'm so disappointed in how you handle that. I don't want you to get involved in that, because why get involved when she's going to stay? The wife said, I don't care. I'm tired of it. I'm not hanging out with him anymore. And I told her that whenever she wants to leave, that she has a place that she can come to. And not long after that, the abused wife, verbally abused wife, shows up on her door. As a matter of fact, she says, if ever he hits me, then I'm going to leave him. So the insinuation was that he hit her and she left, but that wasn't corroborated. But she did leave, and this writer in the inbox uses her husband's credit card to pay for a plane ticket for this abused woman to go and be with her mother. And so I wanted to hear from you. Do you think that if you see abuse, that it's okay to get involved if it is someone within your circle? Thank you, Esther Ruth Jeffus, for joining us here on Love and Stuff. I hope you will click share and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends. And if you're watching us via restream on Twitch TV or YouTube events, please share with your connections and those within your circle of influence widely. Yeah. I wonder why the husband didn't speak up, though. This is a sad story. It's very sad. Thankfully, she is leaving, has left the situation, and hopefully won't go back. And that's a great question, and I wanted to pose it. Is it your business? This husband seems to feel that's not our business. And we shouldn't get involved until she makes her intentions known that she's going to leave him. Of course, this is his high school buddy. So that may factor in, right? Why he's chosen not to take sides, but not to get involved. And maybe he's thinking it hasn't gotten, sometimes people think, Coach Pam, that because it hasn't gotten physical, that it isn't abuse. And so maybe he's thinking that. I don't know. I didn't get the opportunity to talk to him. But his high school buddy is being verbally abusive, and he says it's not our business, especially since she isn't leaving him. What do you say about that? Would you say mind your business, mind your business? You got 6 months to mind your business, and another 6 months to mind your business. Mind your business. Got 6 months to mind your business, another 6 months to leave mine alone. Mind your business. Is it a mind your business? Or because it's a public display in a group of interconnected relationships, is it all of our business? What do you say? And what would you do? Would you get involved? And how involved would you get? As I mentioned from the inbox, none of the women, she says, not another, not a one other, something she says, is willing to even hang around this couple anymore because he's just been obnoxious, and she uses the word violent. And the way she describes it, I would have to concur. It'd be pretty violent to, and again, we're in a culture where the B word is almost like the N word for some people. It's a word that people navigate and use. You got to be careful who you say B to and how you say B, but there's some people you can say B to, and there's some people you can't say B to, and there better be some people that better not say B to you. Same with the N word. Everybody can't say the N word, and some people don't want to hear the N word. Some people hope it dies, and some people live by it, right? So we're in a culture where it's acceptable for some women to call each other B, some men to call their women that, and women call their men that when they're talking and trash talking. But this isn't that case. This is the case where he's using it to demean her, and also calling her stupid and saying, you ain't sugar, honey, ice, and tea, you're dumb. So that's violent. It's violent to the psyche. It's violent to the self. It's violent to the self-esteem. It informs the self-talk. It's violent. Christina says, I would talk to my spouse about how uncomfortable I am around this guy couple and what would be the best solution for us to handle it as a couple, since his is his associate from school. It needs to be some communication and then a possible positive solution for the young lady. Yes. And so you would consult with your husband before taking any action, sounds like, Christina. Is that a fair summary? You would consult with your husband first. And I'm wondering, and I think that's great. I think communication is important. I'm wondering, Christina, if the husband's silence or all of these other couples' silence, where the husbands aren't getting involved, but the wife's saying, I ain't being around that, does it kind of give a permission to it? Now, after talking a little bit in the inbox with the wife, she said, now my husband wouldn't dare. He better never call me. He better, if he thinking it, there better be a bubble that he hold up above his head. And the question I have for her, if it's not okay for your husband to do it to you, is it okay for another man to do it to another woman in your presence? And if not, what does your silence say to that other woman? Because again, sometimes when people are living this recurring post-traumatic stress, they aren't operating in a normal space like you or I might, to the extent that you and I operate normally, where they are able to cogitate and think their way and come to some solutions. It's fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight. Imagine living in fight or flight every day. You don't get to engage the part of your brain that does critical thinking. It's fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight. It's when you're able to put that at ease that you're able to access fully all parts of your brain. Your imagination, your creative ability, your problem solving ability are best when you put on autopilot the fight or flight part of the gratefulness journey everyday work. So once you put that on autopilot, that you are no longer in danger, you're able to innovate, ideate, create, come up with innovative solutions. So imagine somebody that's in fight or flight, fight or flight, fight or flight, every moment of the day, every day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year, every year of the decade. You get my point, right? Your body never rests and it learns to normalize fight or flight. And when you're in fight or flight, it's hard for you to think critically. And so sometimes we say to the woman or the man, I don't want to leave out because they're in talking in the inbox, there's and gathering different opinions sometimes as I do. I've talked to men who were in abusive relationships. And when I ask the question, why didn't you leave? A lot of times it is, I don't know. But that's a great answer because it probably is true. Because they probably haven't been able to think critically about it because you're constantly in a fight or flight. Yes, I want to speak to the other woman about her future relationship with this man to see if I have any help for her or her self-esteem needs to be stronger to want better for herself. Yep. I think the self-esteem component is important, and welcome Ronald Foster and Sandra Beavers. I think it's important. But again, if you're in that fight or flight, self-esteem is not your first thought. Survival is your first thought. And after you've normalized fight or flight, you don't think that you're going to survive. You think that there is going to be an end, you just don't know when. Now, that's the normal kind of cadence, if you will, of someone who's living in a post-traumatic stress reality. Okay. And so you want better for yourself, but you can't critically think about how to get there because you're just surviving. You're just doing what you can to survive. And it's a difficult place. And that's why I say this part of the topic that I want everybody to hear is the empathy. Have empathy for those who don't act as critically or quickly as you would if you were in the situation. Because we always could say, if I was in that situation, right? Having not been in it necessarily, right? And even if you've been in a similar situation, the set of circumstances for each case is unique, right? And so the set of experiences that an individual brings, their strengths and weaknesses, their mental stability, all of that factors into what they would do. And so if you can have empathy for somebody that you are watching in an abusive relationship, let them know that you are an emotionally safe place, a psychologically safe place for them to land should they ever decide that they needed to stop experiencing the nightmare over and over again. It's not in me, Pam says, to sit back and watch people be mistreated. My current future fiance would have checked him, but wouldn't discourage me from speaking up too. Great point. Great to hear. Great to hear. Because I think sometimes the silence is louder than the words. The silence becomes deafening, as the saying goes, because you're seeing people. Are they seeing what I'm saying? Are they experiencing this like I am? Did they hear him call me a bee? Did they hear him call me a stupid bee? A dumb bee? That I ain't sugar, honey, ice, and tea. I ain't never been sugar, honey, ice, and tea. I ain't gonna never be sugar, honey, ice, and tea. And yet they're silent. They pick up their water and drink. They pick up their drink and drink. Well, we gotta get out, we gotta get going. What does the silence inform both the batterer and the victim, both the abuser and the abused? What does the silence speak? Now, I'm not saying you necessarily have to do as this woman did in the inbox and go in, as she says. You might have a private conversation with them both, or one, individually, one-on-one. But the silence can be deafening. And it could reinforce to this abused person that he or she is going to be in this cycle of fight and flight forever. Okay. It's 9:31. I am glad to be here. It is Tuesday night. August the 3rd. And we are live on Love and Stuff. I'm Marcus Holmes, the facilitator of Love and Stuff. We are live via Restream here in the Love and Stuff community on its page, also on the Marcus R. Holmes page, and on Twitch TV and YouTube events. And I want to invite you to click share and tag someone to share in the comments of this discussion about minding your own business. And I want to take a quick break to tell you that you can join us in our brand new Facebook group inside of Love and Stuff to learn a little bit more about the love activist here, Marcus Holmes, and to learn a little bit more about the love that's happening in our community. So there are wonderful people behind the scenes and wonderful people that are part of this community that you should take some time to get to meet. If you're on a journey to increase the amount of love in the world as we are, you should come to meet some of the people inside of Love and Stuff. So you can join that group. And then there is an inner circle group when people are serious about finding love. Now, listen, everybody's not looking for the same kind of love. Okay. Some people are looking for a marriage. Some people are looking to love their parents better, their children, their siblings, themselves, God. There are all kinds of relationships that we should be upping our love game with, right? And if you come, the inner circle is for people that are seriously seeking that love. And there will be couples, there will be practitioners, there will be preachers, there will be people there who are going to share from their experience in all of those areas to help you on your journey. And that's the inner circle. And you'll learn more about that if you go and join inside of Love and Stuff group. Okay. We'll always have content for our community. We have much love for almost all 4,000 of you. And we are intentional of trying to respond to every inbox that we can and try to bring your topics as often as we can. Some of the topics require some anonymity, and we understand that, and we take it very seriously as a human resources practitioner. We take confidentiality very seriously. So if you provide us a topic and you want it to be confidential, you don't even want your spouse to know that you're broaching it with us, we will ensure our best that a conversation is broached in a way where we don't necessarily reveal your identity, but reveal your perspective in the hope that someone else will hear it, and someone else who has a different perspective might shed some light for you, that you will have tools and resources to navigate your perspective and maybe come up with the best plan and solution. That's what all of those inbox discussions lead to. Some of them are more salacious than others. We realize that. But again, the hope is that those who share the content, their personal stories and journeys, get some information, and that you get some inspiration about how you might look at the situation differently and navigate it differently in your own life and existence. And so we are excited about the community, and we hope that you will become part of the community. Join us each Tuesday night at 8:30. If you click the notification bell at the top, it will notify you whenever we go live on Love and Stuff, and we share it to various places and platforms. So we go live there. And we want you to enjoy the content and give us feedback on the content that we're providing to you. Okay. You can also purchase Love and Stuff gear by going to that page. It'll take you to our Shopify page where we have a ton of different products that you can purchase, 35% of which the net proceeds go to help disaster relief victims, scholarship, and other needs. We were able during the Christmas season to bless 6 families to make their Christmas season a little brighter. And we continue in every way that we can to give to help people, not only during this pandemic, but during life as they're trying to increase the value of their life through love and through relationships. And so I hope that you will do that. I'm going to plug one more time that Gratefulness Journey Every Day is available on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. But you can get the paperback at Amazon exclusively, and we'll figure out a way to get it signed for you. We've got a great idea for Amazon, and hopefully we can get it signed and get it to you. We're very proud and pleased to have written this book, and more books are on the way. And before we go, I want to again remind you this Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, Love and Stuff Community's newest podcast, Sports Talk with Kamal and Felix, comes on, and you don't want to miss these two sports heads. I'm telling you, they're so into the sports arena and polls and bets and all kind of fun stuff. They got a lot of good stuff happening. And here's Kamal to tell you a little bit more.
What's up, Sports Talk family? This is Kamal. Come let you know that next week I will be remote here at Big Hughes Barbershop, a little Detroit flavor in Texas. We'll be talking, as always, all things sports. Simone, the draft, the Lakers, Olympics. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. See everybody real soon, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. Me and Felix are going to burn things up.
That's right. Kamal and Felix are burning it up on Saturdays. They are the newest Love and Stuff podcast is Sports Talk with Kamal and Felix. It airs Saturday, bi-weekly, Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, and they talk all things sports. So ladies, join the guys. There are guys there. That's the plan. We wanted to get guys there. So some of the ladies that are single might need a guy and learn some things. Kamal does an excellent job of doing small lessons throughout. In case you're not a sports fan, he gives you some information so that you can learn about sports, so that when you're with that guy and you go to the sports bar and he's like, oh, I want to go watch the game, you say, me too. And you wear your nice jeans and your red bottoms. That's right. If you got red bottoms, if you don't, paint them. And you wear your nice jeans and the sports coat, and you go and you talk a little bit of sports with them because you're learning some. Because many guys would love to have a homie lover friend who likes to watch the game with them ladies and then have fun during halftime. I said it here. And so join us there. And of course, the fellas, they're coming in. The Sports Talk group is growing on Facebook. So we got people that are joining the group and getting involved in the polls that they're having, the polls that they had about the NBA draft, and all of the different nuances, not just basketball, not just baseball, or I'm a baseball fan, not just football, but all sports. They're having discussions across all sports and some great life lessons. And so I think that you will enjoy that hour of sports. Tune in. You'll be surprised at who might be in the room with you, ladies. So Sports Talk with Kamal and Felix, the newest podcast from Love and Stuff. So our Love and Stuff is becoming a love network. And what we love is that our hope is to appeal to the total person. We want you to cultivate your love relationship with God. I'm a man of faith, and I'll be clear to say I'm a man of Christian faith. But I don't begrudge or besmirk anybody who has a different faith, because my role is to live out my faith that it might impact the faith of others. That's my belief. And boy, do I have a journey to do that, right? But I want to cultivate and enrich the relationship I have with the quintessential love that is God. That's the foundation for love. Argue me, as they say. That's the foundation for love. And if you seek to grow that relationship, to grow closer to God, to grow more intimate with Him, if I seek to do it, it sets my life up to be blessed in every relationship that I encounter. And the next relationship, after I receive His love for me and I start loving Him back, is the love for myself. It's the neglected love, I want to call it, because we go throughout our lives trying to convince people to love us, accept us, embrace us, affirm us, and validate us. And we haven't done the work, as Iyanla would say, of loving, affirming, validating, and embracing ourselves. It's the neglected love, I call it. It's the absence of self-care. It is self-care, as I have said before, is love speaking to your worthiness. It's when you come into an awakening. I just love to use that word. You come into an epiphany that you are worthy of love and that you have a responsibility to hold yourself accountable for how you love yourself. That's the love we don't really pay that much attention to. We are busy trying to be loved, receive love, and give love. And women really are trying to give. I'm trying to give all the love, which you're designed to give love. So don't worry, you're going to give it. And you're going to give it only at the capacity that you learn it and that you are open to it, not exposed to, open to it. See, God is exposing us to love all the time. I'm clear. But we're not open to it all the time. Love is on your street. It's on your block. It's in your car. It's on your station. It's at your job. It's at the mall. It's at the grocery store. But you ain't recognized it. You're exposed to it, but you're not open to it. I'm not open to it in a way that it gets to become part of my journey, right? But it's the neglected love. We neglect ourselves. We neglect ourselves and say, first, we're busy saying our self-talk, because of some trauma, we're saying, I don't deserve more than what I'm experiencing. I'm not worthy of it. That's what most of us are saying in some part. No, we're not just all beaten down, battered people, but the journey to self-love is longer than a stone's throw, right? And we often approach it without this love understanding. And this love understanding informs it, because he is all telling you, hey, I created you in my image and likeness. Of course I love you. Even if you choose to go along the continuum, a different path than I've designed providentially for you, of course I love you. Look at you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made in my image. Of course you're worthy. I've written a love letter to you and had it translated in languages people are still fighting over which language it was translated in from the beginning. I am that I am, and I've always been, and I've always loved you. But we don't get that. If we don't get that first, then we don't get that our job then is to walk in that love and self-talk it back to ourselves. And then live out what we've taught, what we've convinced ourselves that is to happen, you see. Well, we stop there. We go from this, and maybe impartiality, but we go from this to, well, now I'm going to love the world. I'm going to love Jimbo and John and Kiki and Susie. But you forgot about Mimi. This love, the neglected love. And it's where trauma gets normalized, because it fits with our self-talk that we're not really sure that we're worthy. So when someone abuses us, it kind of fits with that unworthiness, doesn't it? When someone betrays us, well, it fits. I'm not going to ever get, I don't deserve. And it's that undercurrent of telling ourselves, I was right. God was wrong with me because, hey, what's this? What's this? What's wrong with me? Because no one will love me. And God is saying, are you kidding me? I love you. I'm trying to get you to love you. And when you start treating yourself as you love you as a standard of living, you will teach the ecosystem. You will teach the intersections how to love you. You'll teach the road how to approach you when it's coming your way when you love you. And so this is that community that we're all about love. And I know people hear love and they think, you trying to hook me up. Yes, I am. Busted. I'm trying to hook you up with the love that will up your love game. And that's what we're doing in this community so that it will impact every area of your life. I know for many of us, it is that coveted ring, it's that coveted picket fence, it's those 2 kids, it's that perfect life. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have or desire those things, but there are other parts, aspects, components of love that you should focus on and up your love game. Because you just might find out the reason that you can't have that other love you want is because this love over here ain't fixed. So you're trying to love this man, but you couldn't reconcile this love for your father. You're trying to love this woman, but you haven't reconciled this love for yourself. Because you bought into that self-talk of people telling you who and what you are. In the coaching that I am blessed to do, I tell people counter the self-talk. So when you are asking yourself, because sometimes we'll just walk up on it, we'll have this feeling like I don't belong in the room. And we'll be thinking, oh, so-and-so has got 2 degrees, or so-and-so is 130 pounds, or so-and-so is light skinned with long hair, or so-and-so is this, right? What you're really telling yourself is, I'm not those things, and those things are ascribed by me a higher value. I've been socialized to believe those things have a higher value. That's the self-talk. So you got to counter that and say, now, why am I not? Every question you have, counter it, because there is self-talk happening every day. If you're particularly, I know this Love and Stuff community has people around the world. I'm so pleased and proud. But particularly if you're in the African American diaspora, there's something that people have tried to bring into your DNA for you to challenge your worthiness and royalty. So you already got this complex that's built into the ecosystem that you got to challenge when you enter a room. I do it too. If I enter a room and there are coaches who've been coaching 35 years, or someone who's been practicing this, or New York Times bestselling author, I have to say, oh, okay. The self-talk is telling me you haven't sold 1 million books. And 1 million books means that you're a great author. And a great author means, and I start all of this self-talk. Now, my job is to counter the self-talk and say, now, why am I not a great author? How did I ascribe 1 million books to be great versus 1,000 or 100? Why am I not great and bringing greatness from where I am? Why am I not ready? Why am I not smart enough? Why am I not handsome enough? Why am I not? And you got to start challenging it by asking that question. Flip the question. And then you have to start affirming, I am great enough. Because I sat down and wrote that book and published it and am marketing it. I am great enough to share that platform with that A-list person, because I am A-list. Everybody just hasn't caught up to it. You got to start speaking that. It's the same for the neglected love. Why don't you love yourself? You got to start challenging yourself and say, why is overweight ugly? Why is that ugly? Why is short less? Why is dark less than? And you got to start countering it so that you say, it isn't. I am the hue of beauty. It's the neglected love. And that is what we want to do in Love and Stuff, is this love, then this love. And if you think that that's a journey worth going on, join just about 4,000 other folks who believe the same thing and click follow on the Love and Stuff page. And then go deeper. Come inside of Love and Stuff. You'll get to meet Mama V, and you'll get to meet some of the people who maybe you live in different places than them, but they will love to just connect with you as a part of the community. That's what's inside of Love and Stuff. Inside of Love and Stuff, you get to know the people that are in Love and Stuff, and not just casually maybe come by the page, which we welcome you to come by anytime, especially Tuesdays at 8:30. And then we go deeper to go to the inner circle. The inner circle is only for those of you that are serious about your love game, whether it is that marriage, that relationship, restoring relationship with your parents or children, that long lost friend from high school, you all fell out and they just moved back into town and you're trying to figure out how to reconnect and reestablish. You want to get in the inner circle, because there will be specific content, things like the 36 questions that lead to love. And then there is another study that we're getting ready to share about strangers connecting to build relationship, and not necessarily intimate relationship. How do you connect more deeply with people that you meet and you say, I like him or her, I'd like to be great friends. And you feel like, I'm a certain age and I don't get new friends. Well, there are ways to connect. There's some questions that I want you to do that help you connect more deeply with just building your friends network. Have you ever had friends and you feel like you outgrown them and you needed new ones? You feel like, okay, this is their stop. We're going to always be cool, but we're not going in the same direction. We don't want to do the same things. We don't want the same things. We're not going the same places. I'm not trying to thwart them, but I'm trying to upgrade and they're good where they are. Well, if you want to have a deeper network and you want to increase your net worth, you're going to have some new connections and friends. You can't just connect with the same people, because you're going to get the same results. You're going to have to broaden that net and deepen the connections. So those that want to get into that, that's the inner circle. And so you first have to join the Love and Stuff group, which is called Inside of Love and Stuff. You go to Love and Stuff page, the group is attached there, and you can join there. There's some rules it tells you about being kind and courteous and all of that kind of stuff. And then you'll get an opportunity after that to go in the inner circle. It's not a clique. We realize that everybody is not serious about their love game. And that's okay. That's just fine. But there are some of you that are. And if you are serious about your love game, whatever it is, spouse, friend, parent, you want to get to the inner circle. But you got to first go through the Love and Stuff, Inside of Love and Stuff group. I'm excited to be here. It's 9:55. We got a slow start. We're having some algorithm challenges. We're not going to be defeated. We have some shadow banning challenges. We're not defeated. I think that just means that, I got to up my love game. And I'm here for it. It's been 4 years, 4 glorious years. And I believe in the work of love. I believe in it not just for you, but for me. I believe in the increase of the amount of love in my life, in my family, in my relationships, in my work, in my community, and in the world. And if you hold similar beliefs, you're at the right place at the right time, because this is an amazing community. I mean, with amazing people doing amazing things that will inspire you, encourage you, and challenge you to up your love game. So I hope that you will click share. I'm just going to jump in the comments real quick. Thank you, Mama V, for joining Trauma Normalized and Expected. Yes, ma'am. Liz Thomas Lewis, thank you for joining us. I hope that you will click share and consider coming to the Love and Stuff, Inside Love and Stuff. Shantae Williams, thank you for joining us. Keith Gregory, thank you, sir. Tamuk Scruggs, thank you so much. All of you that have joined. It's 9:57. We're getting ready to end. I just want to remind you of a few things. One, go to the Love and Stuff page, and if you're not already following us, click follow and click the bell at the top. That will notify you every Tuesday night at 8:30. And if you join the Inside of Love and Stuff group, we'll also have a weekly posting, a gathering that we're going to do in the messenger room. That will be just the people that are a part of the Love and Stuff group, so that you can begin to get to know other folks in the Love and Stuff group. Okay. Second thing I want you to do is Saturday at 11 a.m., our newest podcast, which is Sports Talk with Kamau and Felix, will begin at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific, I guess. Can't tell you all the other places around the world, but you know. And it's an hour where two sports heads talk all sports: basketball, swim, soccer, football, baseball, and they have polls, little trash talking. And I invite the women, especially because it's men that are coming. Sports Talk with Kamau and Felix is growing. It's its own group, so you can join that group as well. And ladies, all the single ladies, there are some single men going. So you might do well to go and get a lesson or two from Kamau and Felix about sports, so that when that guy takes you to starters or takes you wherever he watches the game, you won't be bored on your phone. You'll be into the quarters. You'll be into the innings. So you'll know exactly what's going on. You'll know who to root for, who's the rookie, who's the veteran. You'll know who's the franchise player. You'll learn all of those things. And you'll make that bow, that bay, that boo proud. So Love and Stuff is trying to bring people together of all different experiences in a place where you can be loved, where you can work at loving yourself, and then work at loving others. I'm Marcus Holmes. Call me the love activist. Call me a dreamer. Help me make the dream come true. You want to know what the dream is? To increase the amount of love in the world until the love comes back to the world. I believe that love is coming back to the world. And until that time, I believe our mission is to bring to fruition a love unlike we've ever seen. I know we're in a pandemic. I know there is very warm weather in the wintertime. I know mothers are against daughters, fathers against sons. I know just about every sign that you would expect biblically to happen before Jesus Christ comes back is happening and unfolding. I'm telling you that the consideration of the day is love. It's love for justice. It's love for Black people. It's love for equity. It's love for men. It's love for women. It's love for everybody. And we now must increase it. I'm Marcus Holmes, and I'm telling you, I get excited talking about love. That's why I call myself the self-pronounced love activist. I'm the LAS, I'm the love and stuff passion guy. I am serious about love. And if you are, I want to help you find the love that fuels your life and mission so that you fuel somebody else. Just like our inbox topic. It's a sad topic, as you heard Pam say, but what is a shining light, in my estimation, is that the writer says that she told the woman who is being verbally abused, I got you, in so many words. You need a place, come to me. And everybody in the world, my friends, needs to know that someone is thinking about their emotional and psychological safety, that they will be able to be okay and be all right. I'm Marcus Holmes again. Have a great night, a grateful evening, a grateful weekend, and I hope to see you in the Love and Stuff inside a Love and Stuff group very soon. Have a good one.